If you search the animal kingdom for iconic survivors, few animals can compare with this guy here, the crocodiles. But in the 21st century, these guys face quite a few dangers, from habitat loss to climate change, things like this. But one of their biggest issues here in Australia is the proposal to bring back crocodile culling. Now, in our last video, we actually talked about 5 reasons why crocodile culling isn't really the answer, why it doesn't achieve its goals. And I do want to say that since we filmed that video, the push to bring in this plan to cull crocodiles has somewhat gone down a little bit, thanks to a lot of people getting very vocal about it. But I do want to share in this video 5 things that you can do to actually help crocodiles, particularly help reduce the desire, the push by the community to bring back crocodile culling. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 ways you can help crocodiles. Stick around. Number 1 is to be croc-wise in croc country. Basically, the best thing we can do to reduce the chances of this cull happening and culls in the future is to not contribute to the human-crocodile conflict. And this starts with being responsible and, being sensible. Basically, following the signage, not swimming in places where we're told not to swim, not necessarily assuming that places where there's not signage is safe to swim. Check with the authorities before we do, or the people organising things in terms of specific swimming holes who are tourist attractions. Check with people, not the locals at the pub, people who know what they're doing. So yeah, doing things like not cleaning our fish at boat ramps, being careful when we enter and get out of the water if we're launching boats. Basically, always being aware that these animals, while they're not necessarily out to get us, they do look at us as a food source, and it's our responsibility not to put ourselves on a plate, because when we do, not only do people lose, it just increases the likelihood that these things are going to get brought up and increases the conflict between humans and crocodiles. So the biggest thing you can do is be croc-wise. If you are coming to visit this area and you're not sure what else this entails, all 3 states with crocodiles, Queensland, the Northern Territory, West Australia, do have fairly good croc-wise programs on their websites. And you can find that if you just Google croc-wise and Queensland or croc-wise Western Australia, and we'll come up with a lot of information of what you can do, where you may be able to swim, what you've got to be careful about. So yeah, do your research if you're coming up here. If you live here, follow the directions that you should have been brought up knowing. But yeah, number 1, be croc-wise in croc country. Number 2, the second thing you can do to help crocodiles is engage in ethical crocodile-based tourism. Now this could be going on a crocodile cruise, like the Solar Whisper cruise up in the Daintree, the jumping crocodiles in the Northern Territory, or even just visiting the areas saying, I want to see crocodiles. That's one of the things we're doing. Now, not only does visiting these places keep a business going and increase the value of crocodiles, the more important thing you can do is not only visit these places, but when you go to unrelated places, when you go to your motel, when you're getting an ice cream, if people, business people and people employed in those places ask, what are you doing? What are you doing today? How are you spending your holiday? Say, we're here to see crocodiles. Crocodiles are why we came up here. You're not only going to increase the commercial value of them, you're going to increase the value of them in people's minds. When people who maybe have to live with these animals, it means they have to be more careful and more cautious, realize that the person buying the ice cream from them is only coming because they want to see crocodiles. The crocodiles become worth money to them as well, not just the zoo or the tour guide, but to the community. So visiting these places and making sure it's known, this is why you're visiting these places, is one of the biggest things we can do to protect crocodiles well into the future. Number 3 is educate yourself and then share that knowledge with other people. Now, you could be educating yourself by going on this crocodile-based tourism, do the crocodile tours on the boats, or visit the local wildlife parks and learn from the keepers about living with crocodiles, their biology, how long they've been here. This is important because at the end of the day, people want to protect what they love, and we love what we understand. So the more you learn about crocodiles, the more that you'll have this drive to help crocodiles and do these other things. But more importantly is to share this knowledge. Tell other people why you find these animals so fascinating. Share that excitement and that knowledge with other people. And we're going to build this group of people who really care about this animal. So yeah, educating yourself and using that knowledge to educate others in a positive way is a major thing you can do to help crocodiles. Number 4 is to help conserve where you can crocodiles' ecosystems. You see, culling is not the only issue that crocodiles face today. It is a growing issue here in North Queensland at the moment, but globally, things like habitat loss are huge issues as well. So habitat loss could be, when you can, getting involved with the conservation of mangrove ecosystems. These ecosystems aren't just important for crocs, they're important for fish and all kinds of animals that in turn are important for crocs. doing things like fishing responsibly. Not only, you know, making sure our lines and hooks and things are taken out of the ecosystem, not left behind, but we're not exceeding bag limits. We're not taking more out of the ecosystem than that can survive. Being responsible with our rubbish. Basically, wherever we can to either leave an ecosystem how we found it, or even better, to improve it from what we had, to bring it to how it was before we arrived, is something that's only going to benefit crocodiles. So yeah, number 4 is to help protect their ecosystems, their habitats, as well as, you know, educating yourself and pushing for the protection of crocodiles. And lastly, number 5, and that is to write into the authorities. You can write in and say why you're against this cull. You can write in and say, you know, I'm going to see crocodiles. If they're not there, I'll go elsewhere. So yeah, writing into the authorities. Any politician who will listen is worth writing to. But yeah, one of the biggest things we can do is write into the people making the decisions, because we can get excited, we can be responsible, we can educate ourselves, but until we're making the decisions or impacting the people making the decisions, we're not going to make the biggest difference. So yeah, the biggest thing we can do, number 5, write into the authorities to help protect our crocodiles here in North Queensland. So there you have it, guys. That's 5 things that you can do to do your part to help reduce human crocodile conflict, and in turn reduce the political push, I suppose, to bring back the culling of these iconic, amazing animals. These guys have survived the dinosaurs, they've survived the Ice Age. It'd be a shame if we, you know, decided to get rid of them on our watch. So yeah, put these 5 things in action. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're slowly getting towards 20,000 subscribers. Like us on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. But other than that, guys, check on back next time. We've got lots more wildlife content coming. Have a good one. Be nice animals. Take care.